The third thing you can do to survive stress is, you're not going to like this one because it ain't spiritual. The other two, they were spiritual. But here's the third thing. Cooperate with inevitable situations. Yeah, I wouldn't look up either. Just keep writing. Cooperate with inevitable situations. In other words, accept situations and conditions that you cannot change. You know, one of the things that stresses us out more than anything is the ability to not be able to change somebody in our life. It gets quiet. You're like, listen, it's a beautiful day. Don't get me in trouble. Have you ever wanted to change somebody? I mean, not your spouse, not somebody that's here with you, but have you ever wanted to change somebody? Wave at me. Listen, you give yourself away when you look at them. Stop. I'm trying to help you. When you nudge somebody and look at them and go, yeah, this one right here, stop. That doesn't help for a good day. Now, see, there's some people who think they can change them, you know, like before they get married. And they end up getting married anyway, and they realize, well, they didn't change it before, but we're going to get them someday. My God, we're going to keep on trying. Part of our problem is we try to change everybody but ourselves. Can you imagine if we would put as much effort into changing ourselves until we do in trying to change other people, how further we could be in our walk in relationship with God? We spend time praying, God change him, God change her, God change her, God change her. Oh, God. Oh, God, change her. Change him, God. Only you can. He needs you, Jesus. But we don't ever say, Lord, change me. Lord, make me. You know, there's something about marriage that I tell everybody. I hope to tell them before they get married. And that is this. Marriage is not about happiness. If you think getting married is going to make you happy, you are believing a lie. Marriage ain't going to make you happy. If you ain't already happy, marriage ain't going to do it for you. Some of you are like, but I'd like to try. Marriage won't make you happy, but I'll tell you what marriage will do. It'll make you holy. Show me anybody who's been married any length of time, and I'll show you somebody who's a little bit more holier than when they first got married. You know why? Because you need God when you're married more than any other time. Why? Because you don't always get your way. You got to learn how to draw a circle around yourself and ask God to help you with you instead of helping with everybody else. You know, if you go to any kind of Celebrate Recovery, any kind of recovery program, they always have a little prayer called the Serenity Prayer. The little Serenity Prayer said, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Isn't it sometimes hard to know the difference? Serenity is the ability to remain at peace. So God grant me the ability to remain at peace when it comes to things I cannot change. Some of us are trying to change stuff that ain't going to change until God gets involved. And you can't make them get involved. It's going to have to be revelation for them personally and not something you help them find. Some of you think, well, if I could just get them in church. No. No, if I just get them to that prayer meeting, if I could just get them to watch this program on TBN. No. A lot of times, most of us, when we did have an encounter with God, it didn't happen in a church. Happened in a car, happened in the street, happened while we was getting in trouble, might even happen in jail. Your altar was a jail cell, not a church altar. We got to learn how to be at peace when it comes to things we cannot change, and to have courage to change the things that we can. You know, courage is not an absence of fear. Courageous people are afraid. But courageous people understand that, you know what, I'm not going to allow fear to get in my way, because courage is not an absence of fear. It's doing things in the face of fear. So I might be just as afraid as you are. I might have more fear than you may dream I have. I may have more fear than you, but I got enough courage in the face of the fear to put one foot in front of the other and to follow the direction of God in my life. Come on, somebody. And then the wisdom to discern the difference. We're going to have to learn, if we want to deal with stress, to cooperate with things you cannot change. There's some stuff in life you cannot control. The only thing you can control is yourself. I tell people all the time, you know, my kids deal with it at school. You know, we deal with it in life, on the job, in different circumstances. And the one thing that I say to everybody is, you can't control others. You can only control yourself. So just because they do something wrong or bad or evil doesn't give you a right to retaliate and to do the same thing to them that they did to you. So I'm not going to be judged. Listen, I'm not going to be judged for what others do to me. But I will be judged on what I do and how I respond to them. So I cannot control if somebody is going to lie. I cannot control if somebody's going to be unfaithful. Is anybody listening? I cannot control if somebody's going to do the right thing or not. But what I can control is whether I do or not. And I can't let what everybody else does that I cannot change in them allow it to negatively affect my life. Because I cannot be allowed to fall into a sinkhole emotionally and cause mental strain in my life because of what everybody else is doing or not doing. Can I give you 4 words? Mind your own business. Really? I thought I'd get a lot more hand clapping on that one. Just mind your own business. My kids do it. Me and my wife are talking. We're talking about God knows what. And then one of my kids will chime in. And they'll catch one little word. And then they'll say, "You mean that's going to happen?" No. Mind your own business. Stay out of our conversation. This is adult talk. You didn't hear everything. And then you're going to take stuff and then twist it in order to make sense out of it when it ain't even truth what you're hearing. So you know what you need to do? When you leave here today, you go out to eat, somebody said, "What are you talking about?" He talked about minding my own business. Was it a good message? No, I hated it. But you know what you need to remember all day? Mind your own business. Stay out of everybody's business. Quit pointing the finger. Quit trying to change them. Draw a circle around yourself and deal with inevitable situations by saying, "God, deal with me, and everything else will take care of itself." If you've ever tried to get somebody free from an addiction, you'll get burnt out trying to help somebody who doesn't want it themselves. My. I decided, man, I decided, right or wrong, good or bad, I may be held accountable. Who knows what God may do? But I decided, you know what? I am not going to waste time with people who don't want help. If they don't want it, I ain't mad at you. I'm not upset with you. I still love you, but I'm not going to waste my time. Because there's somebody who is serious. There's somebody who is desperate. There's somebody who is hungry that is willing to pay the price, go the extra mile, and make whatever sacrifice is necessary to get delivered from what they're dealing with in their life. I like dealing with somebody who's hungry, who's desperate, who wants more of God. Who said, "You know what, I may fall down. I may mess up, man. I may make more mistakes than anybody there, but I'm going to try hard too." Is anybody listening to me? Come on. You got to quit trying to change everybody. You got to quit trying to make a difference in somebody's life that don't want it yet. They may want it, and you can be ready for them, but quit wasting your time with people who really don't want help, and go to those who want it right now, who are ready to pursue God with everything they got. I'm not saying abandon those people, but what I'm saying is be careful that you don't waste too much time and end up bringing your own self down. It's good counseling whether you do it or not. Because here's the thing, no matter what revelation, no matter what insight that I can give somebody, I can't help anybody who doesn't want help. The frustrating thing is when somebody says they want help and you give them information, you give them direction, you give them biblical revelation, and they go do what they want to do anyway. It's like, if you were going to do that, don't waste my time. There's some things that are inevitable. You're going to have some difficulty in your marriage. Thank you, one. Can I tell you, it's normal I'm going to mess somebody up. It's normal to have a few arguments in your marriage. And you fight about stupid things. Like, where do you want to go eat at? Then they say, I don't care, until you mention a place. You guys are rough today, I'm telling you. You guys are hard, man. It's like, let's go get Mexican. No, I don't want Mexican. Well, I thought you said you don't care. I don't, but I don't want Mexican. All right, well, let's go get Italian. No, I don't want Italian. Well, you said you didn't care. You don't want Mexican or Italian. And what do you want? I don't care. You fight about stupid stuff, right? You fight about things you can't control. You fight about things that, you shouldn't let bother you. But yet, it's those little foxes. You ever get in trouble for something so little, so minute, it didn't even pop up on the radar? And you're like, whoa. Hey, hello. That was small. Can I give you one more? I'll have to finish it, but can I give you one more? Man, stress stinks. Gives you headaches, makes you bellyache, gives you ulcers, weakens your immune system, doesn't provide anything productive or good. Let me give you one more. I'll finish it up another time, but can I give you one more? What am I on, number 4? Let me give you this one. The next thing you can do to handle stress, to survive it, wouldn't it be wonderful we say, be delivered from it forever, but that's just not realistic, is it? But how do I survive it? Here's what it is. Cultivate a sense of humor. Learn how to laugh. Christians are tight. And I don't mean tight with money. They are tight Christians. But there's some Christians, if they smiled, their face would crack. They're just sourpuss. How you doing? Great. How's God been? He's been all right. Seriously. We forgot the art of smiling. I read something back when I just started in the ministry. It said it takes 72 muscles to frown and 18 muscles to smile. No wonder we're so worn out. It takes a lot of work to keep that frown on your face. We really need to. I had somebody the other day, and he looks at me and he said, somebody told me one day, and he told me a lot, but he said, somebody told me one day I need to have more fun in life. And that just stuck in me. And I thought, wow, life is too short, isn't it? I don't even know. It seemed like, 6 months ago, I was 25. but I'm not. And time flies. Then you get married. Then you have kids. Right? Then you work. Then you have a church. Then you try to, build a kingdom and build your kingdom and do all of these things. And it's like, wait a minute. I ain't getting any younger. And I don't want to get old and regret that I didn't have more fun. But I think to myself, we do need to combat stress with laughter. Laughter is a good medicine. We need to laugh more. We need to laugh. If we're going to cry, laugh until we cry. How about today, just be positive with everything that comes out of your mouth and make it a point, I'm going to smile. Make people nervous that you smile so much. And you will. You will. I get nervous. If you smile at me, I'm like, what's up? What do you know? What do you want to ask? What have you read? Why is the smile there? Give me a chance to tell you it's not true. But we need to laugh more. I mean, laughing releases good things. You feel better when you laugh. We're all so tight and we're going to explode one day. And there's going to be little pieces of you all over. I mean, you got to stop. I love reading things, that make you laugh, make you smile. Sometimes you got to. This is why you got to cultivate it. You got to develop it. I don't have a natural, I'm not, nobody's ever accused me of smiling too much or being too happy. Nobody said, Pastor Bill, you're so happy. You smile a lot. I've been accused of not smiling enough, not being happy enough. But I've never been accused of doing it, so you got to develop it. If you want things to be harvested from your garden, you got to plant some seeds. You don't plant any seed, you can go out looking for the harvest, it ain't going to come. You got to be willing to cultivate it. You got to be willing to, dig up some of that fallow ground, plant some good fresh dirt, put some good seed down there, put some miracle grow and water it. Right? And I like reading things. Proverbs 17, verse 22 says, a merry heart doeth good like a medicine. Sometimes, thank God I have my wife makes me mad, but she also makes me happy because I can say things to my wife I can't say to anybody else. I can say things to her, and she doesn't she doesn't get all judgmental. I can't tell you some of the things we talk about, but I'm just thinking about it in my mind. I'm just like, wow, it's making me smile. But I read something the other day, and if I can get some help, I'll close, is some mistakes that people, when they went to church, they had in bulletins. And here was one of them. It said, Tuesday at 4, there will be an ice cream social. All ladies given milk, please come early. I'm not looking up. See, some of you are like, should we laugh at that? We can't laugh at that. We're going to go to hell if we laugh at that. This was in a church bulletin. Another one was, this Easter we will ask Mrs. Johnson to come forward and lay an egg at the altar. Another altar at a Presbyterian church said the services will close with little drops of water. One of the ladies will start quietly, and the rest of the congregation will join in. Here's a good one. You're going to hate me after this one. It said, this morning a special collection will be taken to defray the expenses on the new carpet. All wishing to do something on the carpet, please come forward and get a piece of paper. Another one, they were advertising like a little sale at the church. Like a little garage sale or something. They said, the ladies of the church have cast off all off all clothing of every kind, and they may be seen in the church basement on Friday afternoon.